Hello everybody and welcome to another video here at Playing Board Games. I'm joined by Daniel and this time he's above me. It's like that usually on your channel, but this time now you're the one who is above. How are you doing? How are you doing?
Good. Good.
I've checked. You do have audio. You do have audio.
Oh, good. We've been playing a lot of ARKHAM recently, trying to get ahead on our schedule of, recording, and it's been a good time playing with you, Justin, and I'm really looking forward to talking about stuff that we've already played and some of the good times we've shared together over the last year or so.
Yeah, and that's what this video is. It's going to be us talking about some decks that we've played together. We've chosen 3 from the multitude of decks that we've played, and we're going to talk about what they were, why we love playing them, and unlike the time when I did this with Travis and Bryn, we actually have the deck lists on the screen for you to look at and kind of go with them. So,
Plus, this is some free advertising. If you really think this is cool, what we're talking about, go watch the runs on our channels. So.
Yeah, I'll be sure to hopefully remember to link them all in the video description for you guys to check them out because they are very good. They are very good. All right, I have the first one here, so we'll do this one. So this was a Dream Eaters deck that was Joe Diamond. We've done mostly challenge runs. I don't think you and I have ever done just like a normal run where it's like build what you want. We've kind of had some sort of stipulation. This was probably... Yeah, except for Iron Man. Yeah, those ones. I actually didn't even include those in this because even though I liked the Rex and the Zoe deck, they weren't as interesting or as enjoyable as the ones that I had here for me personally, but
they were done in a day,
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to like fall in love with them. They just all did their thing. The challenge for this one was we had to build with Dream Eaters with the same Investigators deck building. So I rolled Guardian Seeker, so which means that I had to play Roland Banks and Joe Diamond because they were both in that card pool. You rolled Mystic and Seeker, so you played Daisy and Luke. The Roland Banks deck was not my favorite thing in the world. It had some issues. It's also Roland Banks, so he's a little bit like kind of fine. Like he's not a bad investigator by any means, but he's kind of just like all right. Joe Diamond, on the other hand, I think is always a fun investigator. And this was a very, very interesting run throughout the campaign. How deep do we want to go into spoilers here? I guess that's a good thing to ask, to kind of figure out.
Well, I think we can say that we went into this in the deck building side saying that we're going to flex a little bit, right? Based on me rolling Luke, and I said, well, I'd like to, I don't want you to give up the clue getting potential of Joe. And I said, I could make a Luke that can fight a lot, so leading to the Mystic stuff there. So you got a lot going on in this Joe deck for getting clues and dealing some damage.
Yeah, and
it turned out it was necessary.
Yes,
that's all we'll say.
It was very, very necessary.
Yeah,
there were times when this Joe deck was kind of not the only thing running, but he was like the driving force of the tempo in some of the later scenarios in that run of that campaign, due to reasons that you'll have to watch the campaign to find out. There was something about this deck. So the bottom 5 cards there, on like the breach the door, burning the midnight oil, scene of the crime, seeking answers, and working a hunch. Those were my hunch. Those were the cards in my hunch deck. And I don't really know why it worked this way, but the hunch deck really sang throughout this run in ways that I haven't really had a hunch deck feel before. Maybe it was the inclusion of seeking answers. Maybe it was the working a hunch upgrade. It was my first time playing with that. And in Dream Eaters, that's very good because it just has like locations revealed at the start of the game. Maybe it was trying not to be picky about my scene of the crime or breach the door. Maybe it was just when they showed up, I was just like, okay, I'm going to put this down, right? Like, maybe it was just all those things where it was basically just like an extra card in my hand, and actually being able to use my signatures to get cards back in. Having luck with the Elder Signs also could have done a lot. Because overall, this is a very standard-looking Joe Diamond deck. But I think the magic of ARKHAM is that sometimes a deck does things differently due to the situations surrounding the deck. And I think that that's kind of what happened here.
Yeah, I would say that Dream Eaters, this is the Waking side, was very friendly to Joe. I think Joe's very good in that campaign because there's a lot of fighting and a lot of clue getting. And I'd say the encounter deck is on the softer end, especially on the Waking side. It just sort of lets you do your thing usually.
Yep.
And I was very impressed by Seeking Answers in the Hunch deck. It really did a lot more than. And I think it makes sense. Like people think that working a hunch is very good in the Hunch deck. It says it right in the name. But Seeking Answers kind of does the same thing. Usually you'll find clues on the table somewhere within one location of your current location.
Yep.
So it's pretty much playable every round. So
yeah. And you don't need to like, you can set up a perfect position, right? You don't need to like fall into it like scene of the crime. You can just like, okay, I'm going to move and then grab these clues, right? It's just like basically a deduction, extra deduction in your working in your hunch deck. I almost called it working a hunch deck, which is not the name of the mechanic, but
yeah, it's a solid card. I mean, it's also one that we've talked about recently as being maybe underrated. It's in the core, you know.
Yep.
Gonna be sorry to see it go.
Yeah, that is going to be, I think, a bummer because I think it is a really good card. I'm now curious. This is like a fun little exercise. If I like tweak the deck due to deck count, but how this deck would work with new Joe, and I think it would still be good, right? Because it is still a Joe Diamond deck. It'd just be curious to see the power level between the two. That actually, honestly, seems like a really fun series idea of like playing the same deck or as close as you can with the mechanics of the same like investigators. Because now we can talk about Dexter, we can talk about Trish, right? I think that's really neat. Yeah.
And to be fair, there's a lot of cards across a lot of sets here, right? The scientific theory is like made for Joe. You have the whole chemistry set, steady-handed thing going on. You even have Dr. Charles West III.
Yes,
Shout out to our boy.
I mean, the theory is pretty sound there because I wanted to hold my magnifying glasses and I wanted to be able to use my it's like basically an extra copy of the Colts, right? So I think that this deck was pretty sick. It's a fun time, and you should definitely check out that run because there are a lot of ups and a lot of downs. And spoiler alert, this is the only deck that's from that series in this video. So you should still check it out, though, because it is... I think all of our challenge runs have been enjoyable for a variety of reasons, but this one is some, like, really, really good reasons.
Yeah. I enjoyed on the other side, she didn't make the list, but the Daisy that I played was fun, but this was more interesting, this other side, I think.
yes, yeah. But I like they kind of mirrored each other. Where like one of us did more heavy lifting than the other on each side for a variety of reasons. Yeah.
Was it the Seeker?
Seeker
doing the heavy lifting?
Seeker power. Roland and Luke, same tier, confirmed.
Well, yeah. Okay. Moving on.
Moving on. All right, I'll throw this one to you.
Sure. This is the most recent run that has been finished, I think, at this point on your channel.
Yeah, it just finished in the mid-December. Yeah.
Okay, great. So we did a challenge where we were running the beta current, so cards in Scarlet Keys through Drowned City, plus the starter decks and the Corp. I wanted to see if I could do a Charlie deck that could run with that limited card pool, because you know, there's a lot of cards that people say are like auto includes in Charlie Kane, and there's some neat combos you can do. You know, Miss Doyle for 1 and Dream Eaters, Summon Hound shenanigans, Chance Encounter. All right, what if all that stuff is gone? Is this guy like what are the other types of Charlie Kane that you can play? And we're seeing a couple of repeats from the last slide here. It turns out when you're running the current stuff, the Precision archetype is really good and really fun. So chemistry set is here, artistic inspiration is here, steady-handed, and Charles West III, who actually looks a lot better, I think, in this run, just because he's got 2 different icons on him. So Charlie wants to have more than one icon on an ally, maybe 2 different ones makes them really good. So I don't think I had him in there for another reason, which was because of this conspicuous card right in the second position on your slide, a katana. So holding magnifying glass and a katana was really fun. And I don't know, like I remember sending an early version of this deck, like the level 0 version, to PAX at one point, and he said, like, what are you smoking? I didn't know that you were into hard drugs, but yeah, it looks bad on paper. Like, what are you doing fighting with a katana and a bunch of expensive allies? But the reality is, it was quite good.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to at least to show this off on our series here, from our series of playing on your channel, just to say, hey, sometimes you can just put some cards together that seem like they're going to be fun, and you can make it work. Even if it's not like the best option out there. This is not the best Charlie Kane I've ever played, but it sure was a lot of fun to make it all work. And you were playing Skids, and you had the Robert Castaigne thing going on. But I did, often in these challenge runs, I feel like I want to, even if I'm getting clues mostly, I want to run something for enemy management just in case.
Yep. And it was a good just in case.
Yeah. And this hit a lot. Again, you can watch the run. Maybe you already have. But the katana hit a lot when we wanted to. And I think that artistic inspiration plus the steady-handed made it really easy to do so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's like why I think the katana is less weird here, because your intention was not to be the main fighter, but to be like the backup damage, deal 3 to something or 4 to something as needed, right? And that really changes the value of the katana. Like, it's definitely jokey. Like, we were having fun joking with it, right? Like, you were like, this is going to take a while, and it paid off, though, the majority of the time, right? Like, I think that every scenario you played it, you got the exactly 2 trigger at least once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's all you kind of need from, again, not exactly flex, but something close where you can deal with enemies if they pop up, or chip in if there's a boss, for example, which I know happened quite a bit. By the end of the scenario, we need to get an extra 3 or 4 damage on a boss and not just run out the clock. So it's there. I don't think it's a great option for like this idea of, I mean, it costs 4, it's 2 hand slots, but Charlie doesn't care as much about that because he's getting his stats elsewhere, right?
Yes.
He's using his allies to get a lot of other compression. So Alton's also here.
Yep.
Who I thought was really good too. Also worth sort of pointing out that I didn't have flashlight, I didn't have any other cheese with reducing Shroud to make his evidence spending better, but I think he was perfectly fine just playing him fairly. Yeah,
I think that Dr. Charles West outperformed him, which is crazy, but that's because I think you were doing Alton O'Connell fairly as opposed to like the other thing you can do. But I think it had the usual Charlie Kane stuff where it took you a bit to set up, but once you were, it was really good. Also made me realize Scarlet Keys is actually a little bit less on the pressure compared to some other campaigns. Like it gives you, apart from like maybe the Scarlet, like when you're doing the Carmen Sandiego one, like that one is like, I think like the only one that requires immediate pressure.
But we did very well in that one.
We did, yes, yeah. The other thing that I really liked about this deck, I mean, and the Skids deck, but I didn't like the Skids deck, was that I really like Current. I actually really do. It's a very fun way to play Arkham. And it feels lower power, but still strong. And you can still, as you've shown here with this deck, do things that are a little bit unconventional and not just like raw power deck, right? So I'm very curious to see how this feels in the future.
Yeah, and you can win, right? Like if the objective of the game is to win scenarios, then you can do that. You're not like crushing it. You're not ending the game 5 turns early, but that's okay. I think that playing Current also makes you think a lot about everything in your deck a lot more. Yep. You can see that I tried to get as much of the economy as possible because it was really hard. I was playing a Charlie Kane with, especially the Katana too, that I needed a lot of resources, and I didn't have to go that route, but I wanted to because I think it's more fun. But the emergency caches, the motivational speech level 4, which was like okay. I think it's a bit much for 4.
Well, it was mostly there to because there's not really like a good payoff for it. But it was mostly there because you didn't have motivational speech 0. It was rotated out.
I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. It's in a set. It's in Scarlet.
Oh, it's in Scarlet Keys. Yeah, it's in Scarlet Keys. I thought it was in Edge of the Earth. It's in the one that Charlie came out, and that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that I needed to put the XP somewhere at the end of this campaign, and it was like, okay, I'll do this to get like a free clue off the Alton or free damage off the B Cup. It's not, again, the same thing as throwing out a agency backup that costs 7, but it's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun though. I had a great time playing this one. I know you maybe weren't looking forward to playing as much as I was, but I was definitely.
No, it was a fun run. I just Schizotool, honestly, I'm kind of glad he's dead for the time being. He can live in Legacy and have fun in Legacy, but I'm kind of glad that. I think they'll do a much better job with the core, with like Trish Scarborough. I think she's going to be a much better foundation for that.
I hope so. Oh, I should say the chemistry set was a nice add here, just because I was like, oh, it's the precision deck, and Justin loves this card. And did it do something in this campaign? Yes, it actually drew me into a weakness that killed my entire board once.
Yeah,
was
which was really funny when that happened. Like,
it was really funny.
Why wouldn't I draw a card? Why wouldn't I do that? Oh God, that's why I wouldn't do that.
And you're forced to, so I had no choice in the matter.
Yeah.
I wish I had had one of those other cards out to be like, succeed by exactly 2. How about I succeed by 1 instead?
yeah, actively not use it. Yeah.
Anyway, you've had good luck with the card. I'm happy for you. I have less good luck with the card.
I think a big thing also, Charlie has to put extra use into it to get the, like, he's not just using chemistry set, he's using, like, Dr. Charles West, laboratory assistant Leo DeLuca to use it. So it's a little bit less free than it is in other people.
Yeah. I mean, there's not as much clue compression, though, without looking at the fuller card pool. That's the
100%.
unfortunate part here.
All right, from one Charlie Kane to another. This was my sealed Charlie Kane with 93% accuracy. There were 2 cards that I was not able to determine exactly what they were, but I'm pretty sure it was a flashlight and a thorough inquiry. This is split into 2 slides because it's a sealed deck, so there are a lot of one-ofs. This was the first run that you and I did together on the channel, because you reached out to me and you said, hey, we should do a run together. And I was like, what about sealed? It's a very fun way to play Arkham. I have to ask, what were your thoughts, like, because you never did sealed before. Did you have any hesitation about the idea, or were you down for it?
I had watched your runs doing it before. I thought it seemed like a lot of fun. I was all in.
Yeah, so we had to do this one manually in Tabletop Simulator, but there now is an awesome website that you can build sealed pools with, so you too should play a sealed run, because it is a very fun time. How it works is you get a pool of cards to build with, and then you have to build from only those cards. It's basically like an ultimate limited collection challenge, and it's honestly a blast. It's a very fun one. And Charlie Kane, I never played him before this. He was my first attempt at this, and it's not really a great environment to do a first play for an investigator because it is so swingy. But I high rolled into my card pool like crazy. Like, these were my allies that I had for my choices when when the building was all said and done, and I think it was like Ice and Death Part 3. Where we were just like, oh, this Charlie deck is real. We played this through Edge of the Earth, and it was just like, oh, this guy can bring it. And because it's sealed, you don't really like have specific roles. So you can see I have like the Grim Memoir and Chemistry set is here again. It's never gonna leave. But also, like, I had like the Garrote Wire, the Mauser, and the Switchblade, because we were kind of just like making do with what we had in order to get the job done. This was paired with a Winifred that you played, which was built around double, which was really cool for a sealed pool to be able to get that. Yeah, and then also into the events and skills. I got lucky. 2 Perception 2s was like incredible. As I said, like
you don't always get 2 copies of everything. So
yes, it's like a gift when you get that stuff. Like, even like Scout Ahead for Edge of the Earth, I had someone like watching my back there to make sure that like it worked out. But you can see that like I chose Rogue and Seeker because it was economy and card draw. And I hit a good number of economy and card draw that you can see here. And Stirring Up Trouble that actually had a home, which worked really well because we didn't have a lot of curse things. I mean, we had like the Faustian, the Deep Knowledge, but just being able to get some sort of positive clue tempo out of that was really nice. And then with the Untimely Transaction, the intention with that was to give you a Mauser or a Switchblade so you could just go crazy with them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fun. So much fun that we did it again the next year. But my Winifred was like less fun because I think I got bodied a bit by like the Tekalilis and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I was just looking over you at your deck, and I was like, "Wow, you get to play with all these really good allies. Like, what happened over there? This isn't a sealed deck. This is just like pretty much the good stuff."
It is, yeah. If these are like some primo allies that you want to hit, right? Like Michael Lee, Lola, Granny, Peter, like Dr. Milan.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a nuts time.
It was fun. I mean, we had a good time, I think, just playing the campaign anyway as our first time playing together for a full campaign. And even with, getting used to that, you had a lot of tools at your disposal. So it was great.
Yeah. Yeah. Edge of the Earth is also a nice one. I think I also chose that for Charlie because we got the partners who are allies. So we always had one extra to start. So we had like a little bit of the foundation to work with. And I think I went with Kensler a lot because she let us get clues at 5, and she was like our priority in trying to make safe. So yeah. There's not too much to talk about for sealed decks because they're kind of just like a pile of cards. But it's a very fun pile of cards, and I mean, it's just a lot of good cards. Like, this is an insane sealed pool. Like, looking at this deck, I don't see a single dud, except for maybe, once again, Chemistry Set, just because it's not being built around, right? But, like, otherwise, this is actually kind of nuts.
Did you have Charisma at all? Or did
No, I don't think I did. Oh, no, I think maybe I didn't know. I didn't. Unless I missed it. I might have had a Charisma in here. It might have been in my playmat. Here, I want to check that out quickly. But while I'm looking up that, why don't we go to your sealed deck? Because you have one here, too. So I'll throw this one to you.
Only 2 slides for this one? I'm surprised. This is a Patrice deck that I played through the Drowned City with you, and that was this year, 2025, and I had a great time playing this. I thought, so Winifred I chose because I thought, hey, just committing random crap in my hand is going to be good enough to get me through the deck. Great. Patrice is kind of the other version of that, where you can just make do with anything. And there are some wild choices in here that you would not expect should be in a Patrice deck, like a Time Worn brand. But you know what? I killed a lot of things with that at the end of the campaign. Maybe even like a Cthulhu piece.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
I had to include a copy of Quick Learner that was just like on brand.
Yep.
But I was lucky enough to get some extra actions out of this. The Astral Mirror, for one. The task I got from the Drowned City, another one.
Yep.
Maybe something else, I can't remember. But it was just fun to...
Yeah, I can go to the other slide, too.
Oh, sure. To kind of go through and just have a bunch of random things that worked really well. And for a very improvised type character, which I think Patrice is, you draw a random 5 cards every turn. This pile of cards from the sealed deck did a lot of work. And I was very happy with it. With the newspaper, the dowsing rod, I think did a lot too. In Drowned City in particular, I think those cards did more than expected. But I was killing enemies with the hand hooks. Like, I ran with the hand hook until the end of the campaign because it was something.
Yep.
And a 2 damage from your hand when cards from hand aren't really a resource, like normally, did a lot. So yeah, I just had a great time playing it because I always felt like I was drawing into something that might change the game state quite a bit in a positive way.
Yes. And the nice thing about Patrice in this kind of sealed environment is that it allows her to see everything. You get to see all the tools, right? So like, you get to like get through it all and experience it all and see where these things can surprise you when they show up, which I think is was a very nice choice for this because while like Charlie, it's unconventional. I think Patrice was an unconventional choice, but as I'm learning with you, you bring the unconventional choice when given the option.
Yeah.
It gives you like when they hit high, it's incredible, right? It shows like why these guys are nice investigators in these sort of specific environments, because I brought Kaimani, and it's kind of like the inverse of the Edge of the Earth run, where I felt like your deck sung a lot more than mine did. I had a lot of struggles with that one. But I think also just my pool wasn't as good. But I think that Patrice, she was able to take advantage of it. We said all the time, just like you saw so many more cards, which gave you so much more goodness to work with.
And I think this is a combination of Patrice, but also the sealed deck, where a lot of these cards you look at in isolation, you say, like, well, why would you play this? Like, what is the purpose of that? And in a run where you don't have a lot of choice, you can make them do a lot. The Dauntless Spear I'm just looking at here seems like a strange choice for an investigator that has very low stats across the board, right? You have 4 in your best stat, but only 2s the rest of the way. So you're not getting a whole lot out of this, but combine it with the Plucky, combine it with the Time-Worn Brand, and I'm fighting pretty well, the Fire Axe, etc.
Yeah, even like the Hand Hook, like you said, right? Like, yeah, all these things add up.
Yeah, so even the Unscrupulous Loan seems strange, but you know what? It actually was good.
Yep.
Allow me to pay for some of those expensive assets.
All right, you might hear us talk again. I'm booting up the sealed thing to see if I had a charisma in this Charlie deck. Okay.
Oh, there's an old Keyring 3 in here. I forgot about that entirely. Yeah, it's a good card.
Yeah. Yeah, I had 1 charisma. 1 charisma.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is still good. I also started with it in the thick of it, too, which is nice to have.
Yeah. I don't think I ever rolled that. I think I rolled down the rabbit hole in this Patrice deck, but that didn't make any sense.
No, that's not the way.
No. I'm happy for the quick learner, though.
Yes, no, and then you made that work. Like you said, you made that work enough that the value was there. And also, I mean, like in a sealed pool, you have less freedom over your upgrades. So you kind of just like take what you have available to you.
Right, and it just impresses you a bit more when you don't take the most optimal version. So like 1 copy of quick learner, I can't think of anyone else who's ever done that. Like you take 2.
Yeah.
You never take 1. Maybe you take 1 at first and then you get to a second one right afterwards because you didn't have enough XP. But the difference between 1 and 2 is huge. But guess what? The difference between none and 1 is quite good in the deck that can make use of it. So
100%. All right. Let's go to our last decks here, which are actually from the exact same run. So we're going to kind of talk about them in tandem, because this is the one time where we had both halves. And this was our Curse run with Curse Amanda Sharp, and I also have here Cursed Daisy, but you get 2 slides for yours. So we're going to kind of bounce between...
I run one-ofs all the time, Justin. Yeah. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good. So yeah, we're gonna kind of bounce through with the 2 of these decks at the same time. But this was a run we did on your channel, which was, what if we built around the Curse archetype, and specifically Cryptic Grimoire, and that was like our starting point. It's like, what if we built around Curse, but we kind of focused on the Grimoire, because there's not really like any sort of gameplay where that exists, where someone was like, I'm going to go hard on the Grimoire. And we were like, if we both go hard on the Grimoire, that could lead to some really neat discoveries there. And it turns out it's very good. Also, I mean, Amanda Sharp is very, very good, which certainly helps like the whole situation here, right?
Yeah. But
this deck, I mean, you and I still, we were talking before this, we still think very fondly about this run, because it was just like something else. It was like an incredible experience. I remember when we were in the second scenario, we were doing At Death's Doorstep, and I was like, oh, we're gonna win the campaign. I just like knew. I just did a turn as Amanda, and I was like, okay, no, we're gonna win. Like, this campaign's over. It's just like we have to go through the whole process, but we're gonna walk away with a W. It's almost impossible to avoid. And yes, Amanda's very strong. She's very strong. And the funny thing is, this deck actually could be stronger, because this was built before the new Enraptured came out. I'm pretty sure if I played this card with, like, this deck with Enraptured 2, I jokingly said that you would never want to play with me again, because I would never stop drawing. I do want to, like, run this deck almost verbatim, but just like do the Enraptured 2s just to like really feel it. But for context, for how good this deck is, just watch like the first turn I take every scenario. Like in the first scenario, I loaded up the bag with 10 curse tokens on the first turn to get us so we could start translating our Cryptic Grimoires. I would constantly draw 11 cards and gain a bunch of clues on like the first turn. Throw in the Studiouses and you just were able to do more and more. This deck was like something else. I still think it's not the strongest deck I've built. That was a more traditional. You know what? I think this is the strongest deck I've built. I think that just like the amount of non-encounter cards that I drew is insane. Because you were saying before this, how did we handle the cultists in For the Greater Good? And the answer was drawing 6 to 8 less encounter cards throughout the scenario, right? Like, that's really good. And then also big shout out to the Stygian Eye, especially when I played it like 2 turns in a row because I was able to cycle through my deck. But that was very fun for Union and Disillusion. I think that was a really, really good showcase here.
Yeah, so that was the Cryptic Grimoire that we landed on. We both had the same copy, or the same version, right? Because there's 2. And we went with, what is it, the Elder Guardian or something
Elder
like that?
Guardian, yeah.
Yeah. So instead of drawing an encounter card, you draw a card from your deck instead. And that's just really good. At one point, I thought about making mine the insight one, so you reduce the cost and make it fast or something. And it didn't really come together in the way that I wanted. So I was like, you know what? Let's just throw in this Cryptic Grimoire like yours and see what we can do. But I wasn't building around it in quite the same way that you were, because you've got the Truth from Fiction in there. Yep. And hilariously, I think you put more secrets on it from the Enraptured and the Truth from Fiction than you did from drawing any curse tokens.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Because I kind of also just like stopped taking tests in a way too as it went. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I just remember like the turns where I put the Enraptured on and I got 3 secrets and I was like, yay, that's really good. Imagine if I got 9 from that. Yeah. that would have been nuts. Yeah.
So I think you added the Favor of the Moon towards the end to say, oh wait, I need to draw these curses.
Yeah.
And that was good too. I think you might have put it in earlier if you had known. Also, it's economy, right? It got you some more resources.
Yes. Yeah, this was a very weird deck where I kind of had like strange struggles with resources, but if you look at the deck, you can't really see why, right? Because everything costs 1. Well, the answer to that is that I was kind of playing like Truth from Fictions every turn. Like, and it kind of just like added up. Like I'd play my Practice Makes Perfects because I was cycling through my deck like a machine. Let me
tell you, you had hypochondria as a weakness.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter.
Yes. Yeah. No. This was a wild ride. I love the esoteric method too. It's such a different version of Promise Makes Power, which also is in the deck. But like you can see the Amanda Staples, right? Like I had the Unrelenting and the Perceptions to just draw more cards, draw them quicker, faster, like nower. The shortcuts to get there. Someone said when we did our deck breakdown that the scientific theories would have been greater here, and I think so. I don't know what I would take out. I mean, probably I'd cut the Join the Caravan, but that was brought in to kind of deal with the final scenario because I'm always Tekken, always be Tekken. But yeah, no, this deck was an incredible time. It's probably one of my favorite decks I've ever played. Like I said, just go watch my first turns in all the scenarios. It's like, it's crazy. It's unbelievable.
It was weird. Yeah. It was incredible.
Yeah.
There was nothing stopping Amanda.
I think I even started with the testing sprint for the first scenario of Circle Undone.
Mm-hmm. Switching out.
Yeah, and then just like with the esoteric method, that's how I loaded the bag up twice. Because I think we also like didn't have our books out by then. But I was like, I think I'm still going to do this. And I got like, what is it, 5 clues on the first turn? Crazy stuff. Strong deck.
Yep.
And then your Daisy deck, which I kind of showed briefly, but I'll throw this one to you.
Okay, so what made this fun to me also, given that we wanted to play the Cryptic Grimoire, and this one's blessed. So I was thinking about Parallel Gem at one point, but he can't take this one. He can only take the other one, I think. So it's not usual that you play a Seeker to be the enemy management, but when you have Amanda, who's like can go at such a rapid pace that you aren't drawing as many cards from the encounter deck anyway, regardless of this thing, you can start to do some funny things. However, there still are going to be enemies that show up. There still will be your elite enemies, your, tanky bosses in general, right? And then just anything else that pops up. So you can't just say, I'm going to go so fast that I never draw anything I need to kill. Daisy isn't everyone's first choice for a goon, but I thought it would be fun to make it work.
Yeah.
To really lean into the spells. So she has, if you go to the next slide, the other thing that made sense to me was building around this Gaze of Vorach. So that one lets you deal damage just testlessly, so you're not worrying about that 2 combat of hers, as long as there's a bunch of curses in the bag. So you draw 7, you deal 1 damage plus 1 for each curse or auto-fail token in the bag. Hilariously, the Elder Sign for Daisy, when she has her Necronomicon out, is an auto-fail, so it's like pretty good odds of dealing some damage. And this performed well beyond my hopes and dreams, really. It was really cool to just to draw it, play it for 1 resource with my Robes of Endless Night, and just like nuke some bosses. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But in general, the rest of this deck is my kind of classic combo oriented. Let's just get a bunch of crap from the card pool out into play and then just go wild. So you've got Grey's Anatomy, which I think had a very strong showing here too, for converting her high intellect into damage. Old Book of Lore, of course, is a staple. The Occult Lexicon is kind of the other thing that people use for Teslas damage and Seeker. I wanted to avoid like the obvious Ancient Stones thing because I didn't think it really synergized as well with what we were doing, and I just didn't want to do it. So Occult Lexicon is a very strong card, I think, especially at level 3. And then the other thing that got us some damage out and dealt enemies was the level 2 Rod of Carnamagos, and it performed as advertised.
Yep, it was very fun.
Enemies.
Yeah, it was very fun watching you like throw your wand and then just be like freeze, damage, resources. I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah, I only had 1 copy, and you can take 2, but I felt like the draw that Daisy had was good enough. Even though, I could obviously throw a Cryptic Research into here, and it just gets better. But I wanted to preserve my deck slots for playing literally everything here. And Daisy having the tote bag, wanting all these tomes in play, plus the rod. I don't think I ever really played the candles. But yeah, with the Arcane Enlightenment, the tote bag, the Raven Quill to hold the Old Book of Lore, I think, too, was a fun time. I thought it was just really neat to go through this puzzle that ARKHAM presents you, which is how will you get through the challenges, right? Through enemies. And she's got the stuff here. Daisy's really fun. Even if you just rely on the 1 staple book, it means that you can do a bunch of other weird things, like running a Spectral Razor, which is a base 5, which seems really bad.
Especially with curses too, which is really funny. But it worked. It worked
well. I mean, Higher Ed is in here too, so I was using that to pass tests. But I didn't get that many clues. I may have chipped in here or there, but I didn't really have any clues to get after Amanda took her turns.
Yeah.
I will shout out the Ariadne's Twine. Eventually, when I got this in, and I was converting the excess resources I had from David, especially because I was readying him or the rod with the Raven Quill, which was really cool.
Yeah.
I was starting to convert the resources into more secrets to use on literally anything here. So the Cryptic Grimoire, of course, we were using that to. There were a few turns, but not a ton of turns, where neither of us were drawing encounter cards, just because we could spend the secrets off of any number of things here.
Yeah, let me tell you, it feels really good when it's Mythos phase. Place 1 Doom, draw 2 cards from your decks as players. Like that's a crazy feeling. Yeah.
Anyway, I just really enjoyed playing a little bit of a different Daisy, and still getting a lot of use out of the good Seeker stuff. Like I think I don't have Grim Memoir in this deck, do I?
No,
because I wasn't investigating. That's the other Daisy.
Yeah.
the Grey's Anatomy. I thought that was really
Oh,
fun
it was
to use it on a
hype.
boss.
Yeah, like yeah, because you also then would drop the gaze on them, right, and just be like, all right, you're taking actually, sorry, a little bit more from that one, which is really sweet. Or like you also would do it for like an enemy that you did like a bleed out and like can't
Right.
attack on the rod, and then you'd be like, okay, just so you know, you're gonna just get blown up by this rot spell here, which is really cool. It was a really cool interaction whenever that popped off.
Yeah, and this is all testless. The only thing that was doing a test was either on the Grey's Anatomy itself or the Spectral Razor.
Yeah.
Everything else was just, yeah, like a 4 health Night Gaunt. Like you die from a Grey's Anatomy plus something else.
It's really interesting because I actually feel like these decks would not have worked as well with other decks, right? Like if the Clue Getter was slower, this Daisy deck would struggle more. If there wasn't this Daisy deck that took time to set up and also could advance the game on her own, the fighter would have been bored as hell with this Amanda, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think we literally built such complementary decks for each other's game plan, and I think it's why it's the run that you and I look back at with the most fondness for that reason, because we also both performed very well, right?
Yeah, it
And
is
they were-
funny though
yeah.
to look at some of the later scenarios or later half of some scenarios, and my play area is covered with literally everything you see on this page here.
Yeah.
And then you have like your magnifying glass, maybe a Dr. Milan and the book, and you're like, I'm going.
Yes. Yep. And I think also what was really fun about this is you can actually see our distinct build styles here as well, right? Like you said, like you have like your smorgasbord of all the assets that you want to put into play, and then mine is just like it just goes and it just like does the thing. I think you also see that a lot in our Iron Man decks as well. I think it's very similar with that kind of stuff as too. And I think also why this one was so successful, it was a challenge run where we didn't have to like, we were able to kind of be ourselves a bit more. Like we look at the Paradoxical, we both spit on that one's grave, right? And I like the Blessed one was good, but I don't think it was nearly as fun as this one.
Yeah, I think the Cursed run has a little bit of this extra, like, how is this going to work?
Yeah.
Rather than the Blessed one where we knew Yorick could do well and Carolyn could do perfectly well with the card pool too. That it ended up just sort of, I know you said that you knew we were going to win this one, but I still feel like the curses themselves are enough of a negative to ruin your day sometimes, where you're like, well, I don't know. Will I draw? What am I going to draw from the back, right?
Yeah.
The Blessed tokens are always good when they show up, so they never are putting a little bit of fear into you when you draw them. And then, who cares what the next token is, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't really
100%.
matter.
100%. Sweet. All right, everybody. Well, those were decks we loved playing after 2 years of playing Arkham together. So in 2 years' time, who knows what these decks are going to be? Maybe the Amanda and Daisy deck will just be there again. Maybe nothing will ever top them.
I think it's very possible.
Yeah.
Right now we're playing a Daryl and Tommy one, and I don't know if your Tommy deck is going to make it. I think the
Nope.
Daryl deck
The
so
Daryl
far
deck,
is
I could see it making it. This Tommy deck, not a chance in hell.
chance.
There's no way.
So we've had a few duds, but I've had a fun time playing no matter what with you. 'Cause that's
100%.
That's just the game, right? Playing the game is fun. Playing with another person who's having a good time with you is
Yep.
fun too.
Yep.
Playing a deck that is that much more enjoyable, I think, sweetens the deal so much. So
Yes.
hope
Yeah.
we get another one where we pick two from the same run again, because it does make a difference, I think.
Yeah, 100%. All right, well, again, check these out, the gameplay for these decks out in the video description. And it's almost the end of the year. This is coming out at the end of December. So have a great rest of your 2025 and look forward to what 2026 has on both of our channels, which you can also find Daniel's channel down in the video description. Maybe also there was the videos from the gameplay on our channel too for the good chunk of these as well. So yeah. In the meantime, thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to support the channel, like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Patreon if you feel so inclined. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your 2025, and a great rest of the Christmas lull between Christmas and New Year's. I hope it's going good. Have a good one, and as always, a JJ's.